Hello, everybody, and welcome to Choice, Change, and Action podcast. So, you're with me, your host, Simone Milasas, and you've got me today. And I'm going to see how this goes because I want to talk about something that's been up in my world, and I keep going to tears every now and then for the past few days. And it's not tears like, oh my goodness, Dios mío. It's just tears of like vulnerability, is how I would say it. So, I've just come back from 3 months in Europe, which was incredible. And I'm so grateful. And oh God, I'm so grateful for all the different amazing places that I got to go to and the different classes that I facilitated and the different people that I met and the different choices that I chose. Okay, let's put it like that. Because so many people go to, oh, the experiences that you had. Well, you choose everything that shows up in your life. Like you choose everything. And one of the things I've been looking at recently, so I'm at home now. I'm in Phrygian Beach. I'm at home, one of my homes, because I very much realized that the world is my home and it's not, I love the house that I have here in Queensland, in Phrygian Beach, Australia, and yet it's not the bricks and mortar, even though it feels like this big, warm, yummy hug whenever I walk in my house, especially with my amazing, beautiful plants and everything I've chosen. Okay, everything I've chosen and I've created my home and my house as is very nurturing and very gifting to me. And yet, it's also not enough. And I don't mean that as in this place of greed or I'm not satisfied or um, I need more. I'm asking for more. That's pretty much where I'm at. And what I've started looking at is this energy of like who, what, where, when, why, and how I am. Because we create ourselves from definitions all the time. We define ourselves all the time, all the time, all the time. And if you desire to change something as it is now, you need to lose your definitions. So let's see if I can talk about this today and see where we get to. If you're looking at the who, what, where, when, why, how I am, let's use money as an example because we all require money in some form or matter, and then we make it a necessity rather than a choice, and money is a choice. And I've been looking at recently, sometimes I get that I chose all these different things so I could write a book about it, getting out of debt joyfully, do classes on it. I have one coming up, getting out of debt joyfully. And I created myself to be pretty much, in my world, it was a bit of a financial mess. Okay. Some people might say it wasn't. It was like about 187,000 Australian dollars. I found when I finally looked at all of my finances and I realized that I was in debt. That's how much it was. But it's more like the energy. It's not actually about the amount of money. And so get that right now. It's like, what if it's not about the amount of money you have in your bank account or you have in your wallet or at home or wherever you stash it? What if it's about the energy? And for me, I was so good at proving I didn't need money. Like I would prove that I could create so much and I didn't need money. Now, I was also quite often, I'd walk past these beautiful restaurants, and I really like going to a nice restaurant, nice white tablecloth, nice beautiful wine glass, good food, all of that. And I'd walk past these restaurants and I knew I couldn't afford to walk in, right? But that's what I was defining myself as. Oh, great restaurant. And I would sort of like just push it outside of my realm and go, no, no, that's not me. Whereas I enjoy it. Like today, I'm going to an amazing restaurant with my niece. It's called Sales in Noosa, and it's wonderful. It's on the beach, and it's got such epic food. I enjoy it. Okay, so here's the thing: what are you not choosing that you actually enjoy because you've defined what you can have and what you cannot have, right? What you can receive and what you cannot receive. And I was trying desperately to prove myself to everybody around me that I could create like an abundance of everything with no money. And I was trying so desperately to do that. I was disdaining money. I was almost just like aggressively pushing it aside. And as soon as I would get it, I'd be like, where's this got to go? What bills does it have to go to? You know, I mean, does that sound familiar? It was just like, like, get rid of it. So if I look at money, right, then, and then I finally went, you know what? I need to look at this. I need to have a look at what this is for me and my money. And, you know, I had all these bills there, and I finally looked at it. And if you want to know more about that, I did write a book about it called Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. And I used the Access Consciousness tools. There's the key. I used the Access Consciousness tools. And I did the antithesis of what I was currently doing, because everything I was doing wasn't changing anything. And as I said before, if you want to change something, you need to lose your definitions. And I had all these definitions of who, what, where, when, why, how I was with money. All they were doing was defining me. All they were doing was limiting me. They were not creating anything greater. So when I finally made the demand of myself, and you can demand of you, but you cannot demand of anybody else, and the request of the universe, and I went, okay, everything I've defined myself as with money, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to use these access consciousness tools, and I'm going to choose something different. So I did. And I made the demand for 3 months that I would like keep choosing every day. I mean, we say put effort in, but it was more, God, do you know when you have that like that energy in you that you're like, I'm choosing this, I'm choosing this, I'm choosing this, I'm choosing this, not from defining it, from finding out what the fuck else is possible and what is on the other side of this. And that was the demand I had. So as I used the access consciousness tools with money, and I like slowly just melted all of the who, what, where, when, why, how I was with money, and all the definitions that I was creating, as they melted away, and I used these tools. And, you know, it wasn't like I was waking up every day like, woohoo, joyful. I was breaking apart everything I had defined myself as with money. And after 3 months, I remember looking at my like financial reality, and I didn't have this massive amounts of money, but what I did notice is I had an ease. I had this sense of peace, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And you can't define that, like the sense of peace. And by the way, the mantra of access consciousness is all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And you know, at the moment, this is why I'm like, am I going to be able to do this podcast? Is at the moment, I know I'm breaking apart again all of the who, what, where, when, why, how I am. And I've done really well with the defined Simone Milasas, with the defined who I am, what I am, where I am, when I am, why I am, and how I am. And yet, again, it's not enough. So I'm asking to break apart this. And instead of running the mantra of all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, this morning I just started with ease. I was like, what if I just actually asked for ease? All of life comes to me with ease. 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 And be with that, and sit with that and see, you know, what next. So for me, two things I've noticed is as I'm unraveling the defined me is I think I've had tastes and glimpses of what relaxation is, of, you know, I love the Italians say the dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing. And I was talking to a friend this morning, and he said to me, you have to learn how to be the dolce far niente. And I'm like, yeah. And I get it's not what we think it is either, because it's not like, oh, okay, so now I went for a long walk on the beach, or I lay in the grass, or, you know, I had a bubble bath, or I read a book, and I, you know, all these things that we define as notice I'm saying that, we define as relaxation, we define as this. But I said, you know what, I also require, and I'm asking for, what is it like to have that relaxation and that dolce far niente when I'm facilitating a class? Hey, when I'm doing a podcast, you know, when I'm cooking, anything. It's like when I'm working out, it's like it could be anything. Like, where are you defining yourself? that if you let go of your definitions, if you literally lose your definitions and everything that you believe you are, there just may be something even greater available for you. What if there is? You know? So if you look at money, look at your finances, who are you with money? What are you with money? Where are you with money? When are you with money? Why are you with money? How are you with money? And what comes up for you? Like, what's the energy that comes up for you? And everything at that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, proverbs, creations, spaces, and beyonds. Wow. Okay. So now let's do this with a few topics, the main topics that everybody thinks they have a problem with. Let's do this with business. Wow. I love is when I'm doing this podcast in my office and nobody's listened to this yet. It's me sitting in my office, my computer, but I am tapping into all of you, and I'm tapping into everyone who's going to listen to this podcast this week and everyone who's going to listen to it in the future. And as soon as I said business and the definitions of business, there was a different energy that showed up. So it's like, what definitions are you using to create your business? Who are you in business? Wow. Wow. That's so cool. You know, when you see, I know when I used to go to school in Sydney, it was private school in Sydney. So we used to get the train and it was quite a long journey. So you would see, other school kids on the train, but you'd also see people going to work, etc. And the difference of someone going to work, in Sydney, downtown CBD, and how they would dress and their image of what they would portray. And then you're like, what did they do on the weekend? What did they do at night? How many times do we define ourselves during business hours as something in particular? It's like, what definitions are you using in business to, like, based on other people's projections and expectations of you in business? And everything at that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, proverbs, creations, spaces, and beyonds. What if there's a different choice available? And this is not about finding the right choice or judging that anything you've been choosing is wrong. It's not. It's really not. It's like, is what you're currently choosing enough for you? And that's what I would like you to have a look at. And again, this is not from lack. It's not from scarcity. It's from, I truly believe there is so much more that's possible for all of us. Like, what if everything that was possible in the world was available upon our request? That, are we requesting it? Are we choosing it? But we refuse to receive all of these different energies and all of these different possibilities. And most of the time, based on A, we don't ask, B, we've already believed that our who, what, where, when, why, how is the definition of us. It doesn't have to be. Like, if I look at, say, the money, let's go back to the money and the finance for a second. If I look at that, if I had defined myself as, never having enough money to go eat at a great restaurant, or never having enough, having to hustle every week to get the rent, my God, that was boring. But at that time, it was probably pretty exciting, because it was like, oh, I had to create, Well, there's something on the other side of having to hustle to get your rent or your mortgage every week. There's even more creativity available, is what I found out. So again, if we let go of our definitions and our belief system of what the fuck we think we are, or where we're at with business, money, bodies, relationships, all of it and more, what else is possible? Upon your request, simply upon your request. So if you look at business, who are you in business? Now, you could own a business, you could have an idea. It's like you could be working with somebody else, whatever it is, okay? But even look at, have you put yourself so far outside of business that you've eliminated any possibilities that can show up? See, I get more of a yes when I ask that question. So everything that is, and everywhere that you've eliminated yourself from all the possibilities that can show up, where you destroy and uncreate it. right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, proverbs, creations, spaces, and beyonds. So who are you in business? What are you in business? Where are you in business? When are you in business? Why are you in business? And how are you in business? So notice when I ask this, there's these different energies that show up, and you may have something that's cognitive, like literally an answer, or it may just be an energy. But here's the thing: if you're asking to absolutely expand your business and you have all of these definitions, what you then have is this cognitive dissonance. And the dissonance, the two, opposing points of view about the same thing, about you in business and about business, and you have these two opposing points of view, are you actually ever going to receive what the universe has to offer? Receive the possibilities, don't forget, upon your request. I get a big fat no. So what if it was time to change something and lose your definitions? And trust me, it may not be the easiest thing in the world. That's where you need the mantra. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. Or as like me today, if you can just only handle ease, ask for ease. Yeah. And it's like, but you're the one that lives with you. You're the one that wakes up with your body. You're the one that lives with the stress you choose or the stress you don't choose. You're the one that lives with the clothes you wear, the clothes you don't wear, the books you read, the books you don't read, the choices you make, the choices you don't make. Like, it's you. It's you, People can comment and have a point of view about the relationship that you're in, or how lucky you are, or a bit of bad luck there, whatever. They can have these projections and about you, and yet it's on you. It's on you. So what is it that you would like to choose with everything, with the entirety of your life? So finances, business, let's do bodies. I know for myself personally, it's something I've been looking at recently is this energy. Like I have been, I've changed a lot with my body, a lot, a lot over the years. The point of view I have, the judgments I have, the size and shape, the strength, the mobility, all of that. I've changed a lot of different things throughout the years, and yet I still get this energy of, it's almost like sometimes I'm walking my body around like I'm walking a dog on a leash and going, come on, let's go for a walk. Come on, it's time to rest. Come on, it's time to drink water. Come on, it's time to eat. Come on, And I'm like, at the moment, what I'm choosing is to let go of that leash and find out what it's like to be with my body and not control it or force it. So that's what I'm choosing. Okay. And I'm being vulnerable here, saying that to you guys as well. So I'm looking at, what have I defined my body as? And I keep asking my body everything from, eating, drinking, moving, sleeping, like whatever. It's like asking my body what it would like to choose and being with that. And let's see what shows up. So who are you with your body? Different energy, see? What are you with your body? Where are you with your body? When are you with your body? Why are you with your body? You chose your body. You chose it. And how are you with your body? I mean, do you wake up with a litany of judgment, or do you wake up super friggin' grateful? And everything that is, all the definitions where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, proverbs, creations, bases, and beyonds. Wow. Wow. Okay. Let's do one or two more. Let's do sex. Taboo. Like, why aren't you supposed to talk about it? Okay, so look at the definitions that you have around sex. Okay. I mean, how many of you are truly willing to let go? Just be so friggin' vulnerable. Like, it's your body, And it's like, whether you're playing with yourself or playing out, having another body play with you, or you're playing with another body. How vulnerable are you willing to be? So let's destroy and uncreate all the definitions that you are using to determine who, what, where, when, why, how you are with and as sex. Right, wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, perverts, creation, spaces, and beyond. So let's do it one by one. So who are you with sex? I'm pausing deliberately so that you have this like, oof, what are you with sex? Where are you with sex? When are you with sex? Wow, that's got an interesting energy. It's like how many of you actually define and determine when you have sex rather than allowing it to show up when it shows up? Ooh, why are you with sex? Are you having sex to prove something? Or are you actually enjoying it? And how are you with sex? And everything of that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, perverts, creations, bases, and beyonds. I just found in my drawer. If you didn't know, I created these cards called Intimate Play for Lovers with a friend of mine. And we created them because we desire for people to have more vulnerability and to lose the definitions of what they thought they enjoyed, their partner, etc. And you can get these now online, English only online, and it's in intimateplaycards.com. I think that's what it is. Anyway, it'll be in the show notes, intimateplaycards.com, and you can be sent them from the US or from the Australian shop. And hey, why not buy them for your friends, your family, etc.? Why not? So there's soft play and there's hard play, and really it was created so that, like I said, you could undefine what you've currently been choosing. Because is it at all real to you that what you're choosing, you try and control it, you try and get it right, or you've judged that it's wrong? What if we could just let go of all of that? So right now, let's do this. All the definitions that you have of you, everywhere that you've decided who you are, what you are, where you are, when you are, why you are, and how you are, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, perverts, creations, spaces, and beyonds. What if there was a different possibility upon request? What if there was something so completely different available? So let's look at relationships. Who are you in relationships? What are you in relationships? Where are you in relationships? When are you in relationships? Why are you in relationships? And how are you in relationships? Oof. Please don't judge. This is not about judging. This is just about the awareness of the energy and letting it go. And everything of that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right, non, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, perverts, creations, bases, and beyonds. Because the thing is, as you define you in all these different areas of life, and some you may be more undefinable than others, but as you define you, you lock things in. And you're like, no, this is what it's like. I mean, have you ever had, you're choosing something and maybe a friend or family member go, oh, but you usually wouldn't choose that. Well, what the hell is usually? That's a definition. What if every day was a different day and today is a different day? And if you didn't define yourself as you were yesterday, what would you choose today? So who, what, where, when, why, how are you today? What if you were so friggin' undefinable? That's what I invite you to. So this is a short, quickie podcast for you, but I think it's got some pretty good depth to it. And enjoy. I'm also going to ask a favor of you. Wherever you listen to this podcast, can you do me a favor? And if you feel like it, write a review. I would love to get more reviews out there. I would love to get the podcast out there more. So if you want to share it around, but if you listen to it on, I don't know, Apple, Spotify, on my YouTube channel, all of it and more. YouTube, obviously, you can get to watch us as well. So thank you so much for being here. And I have a whole bunch of classes coming up as well. I do have a Getting Out of Debt Joyfully class starting very soon. Actually, I'm going to give you, because I'm going to give you the quick start dates, if I can find them real quick, of everything. Okay, so I've got this month I'm at home, so which is in Australia. I've actually got Choice for Possibilities starting on the 1st of August. And then this is all Australian dates, okay? So if you're, in US, etc., day before. On the 6th of August, I've got Getting Out of Debt Joyfully starting, and that's going to go for a whole lot of different. We've got quite a few days in between because I would really like to, have some home plate, have some really good pragmatic tools to put into action. And I've got a few ones I want to add that are not in the Getting Out of Debt Joyfully book. And you do not need to be in debt to join this class, by the way. It's like you can just desire to have more with money. That's what I'm asking for. We've also got Relationships Done Different, online only starting, and that starts on the 22nd of August as well. So yeah, and don't forget, I've got the Profit Club. That's a monthly membership, which I thoroughly enjoy, and I think everyone on there thoroughly enjoys it too. It's ridiculously cheap. It's like $28 or something like that, and you get 2 calls with me a month, and you can join this Telegram thread if you choose. You don't need to. I'm not that great on Telegram. I tend just to go into the groups, but that's it. What can you choose today that would bring you joy? What can you choose today that would allow all of life to come to you with ease, joy, and glory? Just take a moment. Take a moment. No matter if you go, oh, but I've got back-to-back meetings, I've got this, I've got that, etc. What if you took a moment and just went, what could I choose today for me and my body, for all of life to come to me with ease and joy and glory? This is your life. Live it. Live it, live it, live it, live it. Okay. Much gratitude, my friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.